So our lead this hour is from the home state of popcorn legend Orville Redenbacher. Orville Redenbacher from Indiana. Now in Indianapolis, the heart of the Hoosier State, a fine city with some really good restaurants. I was there years ago back when Reggie Miller, who's now a cheerleader apparently, watching the game, a cheerleader for the Pacers, but he was playing before he became a cheerleader years ago, and I enjoyed my time in Indianapolis. So it was Game 6 of the NBA Finals. The Thunder looking to close things out to celebrate good times, to celebrate a championship. All they had to do was win over the beaten and broken Pacers, who were just trying to play that Bee Gees tune, right? The staying alive, and all of that. Now, I don't know if you were watching. I'm going to assume the position probably not, based on the ratings. This is a FNF Finals, friends and family. Friends and family, that's it. Nobody else watching. So friends and family were tuned in. Don't worry, though. We watch. It's our public service, so you would not have to. An act of kindness, a good mitzvah, if you will. And there was the headline. All day, would Tyrese Halliburton play? Would he not play? What's going to happen here? Well, playing with a strained right calf. He did play. And how did he do? Well, Tyrese Halliburton had 14 points in just 23 minutes, and the Indiana basketball team had a laugher as they celebrated a win. They were the ones celebrating over Oklahoma City, 108-91, a game that was not that close. A game that was not that close on Thursday night, so we get a Game 7, which normally would be solid gold. Again, very few people care about this NBA Finals based on the amount of people watching it. And so there you go. Halliburton playing on one good leg. And he made some plays, and it was a balanced effort. Obi Toppin, the old Knickerbocker, led the Pacers with 20 points, a lot of that in garbage time off the bench. Indiana had not one, not two, not three, not four, not five. If my math is correct, 6 players in double figures, which I'm told is good. I didn't play in the NBA, but I'm told that's good. And they led by as many as 31 points. 31 points the Pacers led by. And so all that's great. All that's really great stuff. And congratulations to the Pacers on the win. However, you know how we roll in these parts. You've been listening. You're nodding your head. Yes, I know. The better story is in the losing locker room. So let us discuss. The question for the esteemed panel, which you are a part of, whether you participate or not. And the company's making it very hard for you to participate. So the question, does this performance qualify as a chokey McChoke by Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and the Thunder? So my thoughts on this, I've got UMass, Whirlpool Refrigerator, and penny slots. And we will combine all of these things together, and we are going to make a one-way ticket back to the Dust Bowl, because that's where both these teams will be going. One last night of pro bouncy ball, and then it's all over. Turn out the lights, the party's over Sunday night, which I'm happy about. We get one more night of content for the show, which I'm pleased about. And I'll be watching, and I like Game 7s. I don't really care about either one of these teams, but I enjoy Game 7. So I'll be watching. Hopefully we get a close game. I'm looking forward to that. More on that in a second. But to answer the question, does this performance qualify as a choke by SGA and the Thunder? The only acceptable answer is 3 letters, YES. That's it. That's all. This game was set up. It was on a pedestal. It was on a pedestal for OKC. No Scott Foster. The NBA did not bring in the extender. He was not called in off the bench to make sure this series went to 7 games. Indiana appeared to be a bedraggled basketball team as their star, Tyrese Halliburton, we mentioned, playing with one good leg. And yet, you look down from 30,000 feet in the sky, and Oklahoma City, this performance by Coach Mark Dagno and his team was I call it a UMass-like performance, because Oklahoma City, on this night, they were Minutemen is what they were. We did the math, and we determined, based on a thorough thorough review of the available evidence that Oklahoma City played effectively good basketball for 3 minutes and 34 seconds. Period, heart stop. 3 minutes and 34 seconds. Oklahoma City jumped out to a 10-2 lead in the game. And that was at the 8:26 mark of the first quarter. And then they had to play the rest of the game. And that was the problem. From that point forward, from the 10-2 advantage for the Thunder until early in the fourth quarter, the Thunder, we're told, one of the all-time great individual teams, were outscored by 39 points in an NBA Finals game. Pathetic. Pathetic. Horrific. Hey, are you even trying? Are you even trying to be outscored by 39 points in that stretch? And the garbage time after that. And I'd say there was garbage time before that as well. So where is the finger of blame as we turn the page? Where is the finger of blame pointed at for OKC? We love to play the blame game and pointing the finger. Let's start with SGA. All right, now there's a lot of letters here. You got SGA, and then I've got, in my algebra equation, I've got MVP. So I've got SGA, and then I've got MVP, and he was standing right in front of the Whirlpool refrigerator. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. He was standing right in front of the refrigerator, the Whirlpool refrigerator. Now, he had a chance to close the refrigerator door, to turn the lights out, have the eggs cooling, watch as the butter's getting hard and the Jell-O's jiggling, as the iconic late, great Chick Hearn, old sportscaster, said back in his day. Did that happen? No. Instead, what do we got? The Thunder had 21 turnovers. 21. It's a bakery is what that is. 8 of them by Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. 8 of them. 8 of them. He had 7 made baskets and 8 turnovers. He sucked at a time you cannot suck in Game 6 of the NBA Finals. Let's jump ahead here to cut 2, Mark. And here's SGA pointing out that it was not a good night to play basketball for OKC. Take a listen.
The way I see it is we suck tonight. We have to learn the lessons. And we have one game for everything we've worked for. And so do they. And the better team Sunday will win.
Okay, so at least he admitted he did suck at a time you cannot suck, so we appreciate that. That is the first step to rehabilitation when you're riding the Vomit Comet. Here is SGA asked whether or not the Thunder had championship dreams and they were already imagining what it would be like to do that big post-game celebration, winning the title in Game 6. Here's what he had to say on that.
Definitely in the back of our minds, for sure. Now, we didn't play like it at all, and that's why the night went the way it did. We got exactly what we deserved, what we earned, and we have to own that.
See, I would argue they played like they thought they had the game in the bag. If you saw anything leading up to this game, it was a fait accompli. It was in the bag. What's in the bag? Championship. Championship. It was in the bag. Championship in the bag. Just show up. That's it. You're done. You're good. You're going to win. Man. Now, the coach of the Thunder, Mark Daigneault, pointing out they were this close. They were right there. They could almost taste the championship. Coach, explain that to me.
It was hard tonight. Indiana was great, and we were not. So we have the same opportunity Indiana does on Sunday. Score will be 0-0 when the ball goes up in the air. It's a privilege to play in Game 7s. It's a privilege to play in the finals. As disappointing as tonight was, we're grateful for the opportunity. And we put in a lot of work this season to be able to play that game at home, which is exciting to be able to do it in front of our fans. So, obviously disappointed tonight, but we'll regroup, get back to 0, learn from it with clear eyes like we always do, get ourselves as ready as we can be to play Game 7 on Sunday.
That's nothing but cliches. That is sportscliche.com from Mark Daigneault. Daigneault, who is just going on and on. I mean, that was at least 7 or 8. Now, I was alerted by one of our eagle-eared listeners who said that right after the game, and I turned the game off right after the game because there was no point, and who cares? But I'm told that the point guard, Tyrese Halliburton of the Pacers, went full-on sports cliche guy also on the television interview. I've not heard that yet. We'll try to track that down, but he apparently just gave nothing but cliches in his interview. But back to the point at hand. So we mentioned SGA, 7 made baskets, 8 turnovers. And who else gets to wear the clown nose? How about Lou Dort, the great Lou Dort, Jalen Williams, and Alex Caruso, the 3 musketeers of misery. The 3 musketeers of misery. Co-conspirators behind SGA for this performance. Now, Dort was a dud. Lou Dort was a dud. He finished with 3 points. He had a minus 28 on the plus-minus. That means while he was on the court, his team was outscored by 28. How about Alex Caruso, the one that got away from the Lakers, the bald Mamba, who played like a bald middle-aged man. He had a cardio game. It was like he was playing at the YMCA, running around doing cardio. He finished with as many points as you and I had. That's it. Zilch, Zippo, Zip, nada, as my friend and former FSR personality Jim Mora would say, diddly squat in 22 minutes. 22 minutes. And the Thunder were outscored by 33 points with Alex Caruso, the bald Mamba, the white Mamba, as some call him, on the floor. How about Jalen Williams? You talk about a 40 for 40. He said, hold my beer to Lou Dort, and he said, hold my beer, Alex Caruso. Jalen Williams had 16 points. If I'm not mistaken, he had 40 points in the previous game in the finals. While he was on the court, the Thunder were outscored by 40. And again, I didn't play in the NBA. I'm not a baller. I'm just a gas bag. I don't believe that's particularly good, but what do I know? What do I know? He was on the court, a guy that was in the running and still is in the running for finals MVP if Oklahoma City wins. It's going to be SGA or Jalen Williams, and outscored by 40. 40 points. All right, now the last word here. So we do have a Game 7 of the NBA Finals. It is on Sunday night. I believe it is going to be broadcast on some random channel on Tubi, I think. I believe. Maybe I'm wrong on that. So who's got the edge heading into Game 7? A first-glance, knee-jerk look at Game 7. We will not have a live talk show. I'll do the podcast this weekend. We'll have the Friday, Saturday, Sunday pods and all that. But who's got the edge heading into Game 7 between the Pacers and the Thunder? So I'm going with Indiana. Oh, you're just being a shock jock. No, I'm not. Let me give you my rationale. Let me give you my evidence. I'll state my case why I believe the Indiana Pacers have a slight edge. It's not a large edge. It's a slight edge. Here's why. Imagine, if you will, being at the casino and you're playing the penny slots. Now, the penny slots make the most money for the casino. They make more money from the penny slots than anything else in the casino. That's why there's so many penny slots. Because they're not really penny slots, right? You end up playing much more than just one penny. And so you're playing the penny slots, and you get 50 free plays, 50 free spins. That's the Pacers. They're playing with house money. They're unencumbered. They can play free and loose. That doesn't mean they are going to play that way, but they can. Oklahoma City has had, I'm told by many basketball toe lickers, a all-time great historical season. 68 wins during the regular season. They're at home. They're favored by, I believe, they opened at 9. I believe they're favored by 8 points in the game on Sunday, the overnight line. So favored by 8. You've got the MVP of the NBA. You're dining on your home cooking. You're supposed to win the game. All of those ingredients are in your favor. And they're all ingredients for what? Tight tuchus syndrome, the tight sphincter, feeling the squeeze. And this is one of those situations where Oklahoma City, by their gutless performance in Game 6, just pathetic. This is an F around and find out chart situation. You F around, and you're going to find out. Game 7, matchups do not matter. Doesn't matter what you think who you think has an edge. The film doesn't really matter. Who cares about that? And home court doesn't matter. Injuries don't matter. The only thing that matters, and this is why we love Game 7, is who does better in that moment. And as the great Dick Stockton taught me years ago, stats tell you what has happened, not what's going to happen. That's why they play the games. So OKC has effed around. They played with their food, and now it's Judgment Day on Sunday night, and I'm there for it. And I'm sure I'll be the one representative of the overnight watching. I don't know anybody else can watch that, but I'll be checking it out on Sunday night. I look forward to it. So Game 7 to decide the championship. Now,